application, please.
Yes, sir. Lord, again, we thank you for your presence, and we just ask for your wisdom as we conduct people's business tonight. Folks of Calhoun County, give us the judgment to do those things that are pleasing to your sight and most beneficial to them. We pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Have a motion that we approve the February 25th regular meeting.
So moved.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Committee reports. Dave, you got any recreation committee reports?
I'll just start it off and tell you what we kind of did. I think everybody, you got your package, you probably got a copy of the fee schedules for the different sites. Everybody got, I didn't know whether anybody had any objection. What we did doing there too is, at these sites now, we will have one of our county employees there while they're having that event. We thought we should have done that previously, but we didn't. And some of the things that reflect that they will get paid a salary for being there.
Right.
And so that's why you see the fee schedules change as it was. If you notice the fee schedule for John Ford Banquet Hall and the Calhoun Hills Golf Complex facility is pretty well within range together. The Fort Myer facility and the St. John facility is not as large a facilities, and the prices kind of reflect that. We're a little cheaper on those prices, but Ken, did you have anything to add to that?
No, that's pretty much.
Ted, you?
No, that's appropriate. First reading of the fee schedule by title only will be later on the agenda. So that's-
We will have a public hearing on that.
We certainly will.
Yeah, we'll have a public hearing so the public can come and voice their opinion about
Yes.
it.
All right.
What we really wanted to do was to make it feasible for people to come, everybody to come in, and at the same time, we want to kind of like get us some kind of benefits back out of it. We thought we made it, the fees kind of accessible to everybody, most people can access it, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, also, while we were discussing the fee schedule, the Recreation Committee also asked if we had posted the manager's job at the golf course, and we reported that we did not have it posted, and the Recreation Committee directed us to do so. In light of us coming here tonight to report to y'all about that, and we also had to move forward per DHEC with the closing of the pool at the golf course under their direction. You know, they're monitoring the way we do that, and they want us to do it, so we went ahead. Woody has taken care of that. As y'all might have seen, but it's actually, if you've ridden by there today, you can't fall in the pool anymore. You can fall on top of the pool, but you can't just been filled in.
Yeah, he said it took 70 loads to dirt.
Yes. And then also, I reported there's a person from the Sandy Run area who is involved with disc golf, who has been talking with us about bringing disc golf to Calhoun Hills. And we've got a couple meetings with him out there, and he's going to be sending a proposal soon to council, and the Recreation Committee discussed that. It was very favorable on that idea because it's a very popular sport, and he apparently is a former pro golfer who had some injuries that kept him off the tour, and he's sort of thrown himself into this. And so we think that would be a welcome addition out there, and we look forward to talking with him further. And last but not least, there were some plumbing issues out there that we were directed by the committee to address, and we're doing that. And that's all from the Recreation Committee.
Okay. Lisa, you got anything? Committee report?
Oh, yeah, Natural Resource Committee, we met, and like Mr. Ken brought up, we are getting closer to the end of our landfill, the limits to what we can put out there, so we did meet. I'm gonna refer it to Ted. We have some favorable things to move forward with some studies about how to close it, and John may have some other comments, but Ted can update us on some of that.
Ted, present.
Thank you, Ms. Thornton. Mr. Nelson? Oh, I'm sorry, speak loud.
No, it
Okay.
is dead.
That's- I have never been told to speak loud before, that's the first. The Natural Resources Committee is chaired by Mr. Thornton and served with Mr. Nelson. We met this afternoon. Per the council's direction at the work session, we were asked to get a proposal, number one, to study exactly what has to happen for us to finish capital closure of the existing landfills. You know, we're running out of space there in a hurry, and we have to do something with that here pretty soon. And also, on a separate note, we were also asked, as part of that work session, that we need to get a proposal together to talk about what we want to do with our collection sites long-term. You know, whether we want to change those, update them, close some, expand some, you know, what our options were. So we have a relationship with David Floyd and Mr. Tom Jordan, and we asked him to send proposals in there, into the Natural Resources Committee for us to bring to council tonight. He did so. He was at the committee meeting this afternoon. And the first one was a proposal, and you should have a copy of it, to develop a closure plan for our landfill.
We don't have it yet.
Y'all have that?
No, we haven't. We take that right now.
While she's giving that out, let me say that what this proposal would do is, we would develop a current topographic survey of the site. We would design a new final grading plan for closure. We would get the volume calculations and the guidance for duration, where materials could be disposed prior to closure. And we would develop a site-specific engineering report to accompany the closure plan. And then it would have to be reviewed by the county and by DHEC and approved before it's passed. And the cost of that proposal would be $15,600. We have $100,000 in the budget to deal with the landfill closure. And the committee voted out a favorable report on this, and so we would recommend, based on that recommendation, that we approve that plan, that proposal.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the proposal from Davis and Floyd for
Second.
the closure of the landfill.
Have a second?
Second, yeah.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, the other proposal, we do not have funds in the current budget for, but we asked Davis and Floyd to go ahead, while he was doing that, submit that to us, and he's done that. And this proposal would develop a countywide map of the existing centers and would assess the functions of each center, and it would work with us to determine the communities would have to be served, the effectiveness of each location as it is currently, locations that need to be relocated or eliminated, and if we have to find locations for new centers, where those would be, and then develop a plan for what we want in a new convenience center, and then do a cost estimate for a typical plan for each center. This proposal would cost us $11,500 to do the study, and the committee was favorable with the caveat that we put this in the next fiscal year since we didn't have funds available for budget for it right now, and so we would recommend that council approve this and for the new fiscal year as part of bring it back as part of the new budget for the new fiscal year.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the proposal of Davis and Floyd to move forward in the new fiscal year, correct? With the development of a plan for our convenience centers.
Okay, have a second.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Ted, where that now? Slipped my mind right now. I'll come back to it.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, John, you got one?
I'm just gonna ditto everything Cecil said, and we did talk, just to expand a little bit on what Ted was bringing up there. Since we do have development up in our district and we own the property for our collection site there, I'm certainly willing, if the council is so of mind, that we can move forward with that too, maybe at the backside of next fiscal year. I certainly don't mind offering our site up as the first one to have a model. I think the way most counties do this is they'll normally have a cascading kind of plan, and with the growth we have in here, and we own all that property and some good several acres of surrounding property that could be expanded to, I would like to offer that up as perhaps something we can consider later on as well. So, that's it.
Okay. Ken, you got anything?
No, sir.
I know what it was. Did you ever find out anything from Orangeburg about the $500 fee?
Just the basic details that you read in the paper, so nothing else yet. I'm still.
Okay. Does anybody have any appointments tonight?
No, sir.
No.
No resolution of proclamation. Appearances, Eric Hand, South Carolina Emergency Management Association President.
council members, county staff. My name is Eric Hayes. I'm Sumter County's Emergency Management Director, and I just happen to be the current president of the South Carolina Emergency Management Association. South Carolina Emergency Management Association, for you may not know, is a group of like-minded individuals from the state, county, municipal levels, hospitals, schools, and hopefully bringing in some private sector people who are there together to promote the career of emergency management and help further ourselves networking, learning from experiences with each other to help further emergency management in the state of South Carolina. Roughly around 10 years ago, the South Carolina Emergency Management Association, one of their goals they set was to say, we need a standard. We need to set something up to say, hey, here's where we can judge ourselves against the rest of the country and others to have something to achieve and reach for as individuals in the emergency management field. And try to raise that, maintain that professional standards for emergency managers. And that is called the South Carolina Certified Emergency Management, or Certified South Carolina Emergency Manager. Now, one thing I say on this is nothing that is required to do. So, one thing that, before I delve a little bit more into what it took to get this, be proud of your employee that took it upon themselves to want to achieve and grow themselves to better for themselves and for their community. To get the award for the South Carolina CEM, you do over 200 hours of instructions. 100 of those hours are classroom instruction, online instruction, or training that you attend in the emergency management curriculum. And those must cover from all 4 phases of emergency management: mitigation, response, recovery, and preparedness. And you have to split the number of classes you take to evenly distribute among those 4 phases. So you can't just pile up all in response or pile up all in mitigation. You have to get that well-rounded approach to that part of the emergency management. Your second half of this is from just general management course studies. And those are distributed as equally as well. So over 200 hours of training, classes, or education maintaining that you're doing. And then also participating in exercises and even real world events. And that comes with a recommendation from your director supervisor. And then all this information is put together, and schema, we have an awards committee who reviews all the documents presented and goes through and whether they award this stuff. And I'd like to be able to happy to present to your employee, your Director of Emergency Management, David Chojnacki, that he received that this year's South Carolina Emergency Management Association, his South Carolina Certified Emergency Management for certified in 2019, and this is good for 3 years. David?
Okay.
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you very much, appreciate it. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, thank you, Dave. Okay. On the old business, the approval of contract with county administrator. As y'all know, we've hired Ted as a full-time administrator. And what we need to do is I need a motion that we accept the contract to make him the county administrator full-time. I have a motion that we approve that.
So moved.
I'll second. Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, aye?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Okay, Ted, you is now the full-time administrator instead of acting. So take the acting off.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, I will do that.
You can quit acting and start doing the real
Yeah,
thing.
that's right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of council.
Okay.
I'm very happy to be here.
And also, Denise is the Assistant Administrator, Chief Financial Officer. So, I need a motion that we approve that.
That's, Mr. Chairman, one point of correction there is Deputy Administrator, Chief Financial
Yeah,
Officer.
yeah.
Okay.
What did I say?
You said Assistant.
Yeah.
And what do you need? You need a motion to approve that?
Yeah.
Or, I thought we were gonna approve the organization of the chart.
I think we're good to go.
Okay,
Okay, all
we're,
right, get it.
I need to approve that.
Okay, you hit Denise.
All right.
Okay, approval of agreement with Casey for water and wastewater. You gonna pick that up today? Who took that up? Ted, you
Mr.
got
Chairman, I'm
it?
ready to talk about that. As you know, we have a small treatment plant up near the Zeus plant that fronts 26. And that, we have not been discharged from that since we got our lines established with the city of Casey. And we became a customer of theirs several years ago. And we got those lines. Part of that, DHEC has asked us to pass a pre-treatment plan that mirrors the city of Casey's plan to codify the fact that we're a customer of theirs in our ordinances. And so we talked with them, and before you tonight is that contract. DHEC and the city of Casey are both aware that we're passing this. There's one item that we're gonna ask to leave blank, and that is the date that they last revised, because they have told us as of this afternoon that they intend to do a small revision to this in April. So what I would ask the council is that we approve this agreement and give Vicki and I, the scrivener's error, permission to fill in the date as soon as Casey does that approval that they're talking about. And
Okay.
then we'll have this in place, and DHEC will be happy with us.
And they're talking about amending their ordinance, not the contract.
I'm sorry, meaning their ordinance from which this contract now is up, yes, I'm sorry.
All right, okay, I have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second, you got second, John?
Yeah, second.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, aye?
aye.
All opposed? Okay. Approval of updated organizational chart.
Mr. Chairman, at the work session, council directed me to bring back an updated organizational chart which reflects the fact that delinquent tax was shown as being under one of the deputies before, and that's actually a position that's appointed by council. We have delinquent tax now being shown in the proper place where it should, under county council, like your other appointments. And also, the legislative delegation, as you know, now has a formal relationship with us via our HR director to provide delegation, some limited delegation services. So we have put in our chart, our existing organizational chart, the connection there between the HR spot and the legislative delegation. And also, it was not an intentional thing. The Council of Aging was not shown on our organizational chart, so we have placed that on there under our boards and commissions. And that's ready for y'all to approve now.
Okay,
And we will post it online now also.
do I have a motion?
So moved. That we, Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the county organizational chart, Calhoun County organizational chart as presented by the administrator.
Okay, have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Is there any other old business come up tonight?
No, sir.
Anybody have anything? Okay. Okay, under new business, consideration of proposal for landfill cap enclosure.
Mr. Chairman, y'all went ahead and took care of the two new business items as part of the committee reports, which is fine. We'll reflect that in minutes. We've already done those two items.
Okay. Okay, any other new business come up? Anybody have anything needs to be brought up? Done? Okay, ordinance, second reading, we're still on hold. All right, by title only, ordinance 2019-1, an ordinance authorizing an amendment to the allocation of revenues generated from one or more Multnomah County industrial parks within Calhoun County, South Carolina, and other matters related thereof. Have a motion that we, approve first reading.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. All right, ordinance 2019-2, first reading by title only. An ordinance to amend ordinance 2015-1 to change the rental fees for recreational facilities owned and operated by Calhoun County and to add additional facilities. I have a motion to
So moved.
approve by title. Second,
Second.
any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. First reading by title only, ordinance 2019-3, an ordinance to amend zoning ordinance 2016-11 as related to 5-125 solar projects or farms of less than 1 acre or attached to a residential unit. I have a motion that we approve first reading.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Y'all speak up now. Don't leave it to just two of them to have to do the heavy lifting.
Just one other question on the last one there, Ted. Can you give us a little more explanation on that one? The
That is
first reading?
coming from Jeffrey, our building official, and
Okay.
he's had a lot of requests, to deal with the, as y'all may remember from our zoning ordinance, when the solar projects really started rushing in on us, and it started getting bigger a few years ago, the COG worked with several rural counties, including us, to get some boilerplate language in our planning and zoning documents to deal with these solar projects. Well, at the time, we realized that we were gonna have to tailor it to fit our needs at the appropriate time, and Jeffrey feels like we're ready to do this for these, solar projects that are less than an acre, really referring to, residents.
And the mainly residential.
So,
Can I,
that's,
can I interject something there?
Yes.
Because Jeffrey talked to me about, it's the panels that you put on your house.
I know very much about
Yeah.
that. I'm in the midst.
That, and our other ordinance said they have to be on the rear of the, or not facing the road and all that. But people who live like on a 5-acre tract of land,
Yeah.
they would be exempt from that. That, you
Oh,
know, if
okay.
you're not in a subdivision.
Well, I'm glad to hear I'm still in compliance.
well, we've run into several situations, which we were.
I'm in compliance, lady.
We've run into several situations which told us we needed to update this language, and so.
Yeah, that's good.
Because they
Okay.
keep going to the zoning, then keep having to go and change it.
Right.
Okay,
All right.
Okay.
anything else on the ordinances that we need to bring up tonight? Okay, Ted,
On my report, it's just one item, sir, every year we have a day when the individual departments come and make their request for the next budget year to council, and we're proposing April 24th to be that day for them to come and be before you guys, and it's a Wednesday.
all right,
What's the time schedule? Yeah, y'all set
That
it.
morning.
Like a work session kind of, but
Be a
not.
work session,
Kind of
type
like,
kind of
but
schedule,
just
yes, sir.
strictly
Just,
Kind of
just for that.
Okay.
So the 24th.
9:30?
9:30 be fine, yes, sir.
Okay. You don't need a motion on that, do you?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, on the executive session, you got one EMS matter?
Yes, sir, one very small matter.
Well, it said that she didn't bring in a big book like Bill Minkiewicz did, so I guess it won't be too bad. Okay. Have a motion that we go into executive session to take up personnel matter on EMS.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Meaning we will have no